One Sunday morning, an old cowboy entered a church just before services were to begin. Although the old man and his clothes were spotlessly clean, he wore jeans, a denim shirt, and boots that were very worn and ragged. In his hand, he carried a worn-out old hat and an equally worn-out Bible. The church he entered was in a very upscale part of the city. It was the largest and most beautiful church the old cowboy had ever seen. The other people in the congregation were all wearing upscale, expensive clothing. As the cowboy took a seat, the others moved away from him. No one greeted, spoke to, or welcomed him. They were appalled at his appearance and didn't attempt to hide it. As the old cowboy was leaving the church after the service, the preacher went up to him and asked the cowboy to do him a favor. "Before you come back in here, have a talk with God and ask him what he thinks would be appropriate attire for worship." The old cowboy assured the preacher he would. But the next Sunday he was wearing the same ragged jeans, shirt, boots, and hat. Once again he was completely shunned and ignored. After the service, the preacher again went over to the man and said, "I thought I asked you to speak to God about your attire before you came back to our church." "I did," replied the old cowboy. "And what did God tell you the proper attire would be for worshiping here?" asked the preacher. "Well, sir," the cowboy replied, "God told me he didn't have a clue what I should wear because he'd never been in this church."